Hello all, this is James Johnson, aka Sulfurblade, and I'm here in Fishing Planet, but we're not here to talk about Fishing Planet. We're here to talk about other gaming news. And elsewhere in the gaming news, Australia, the country down south, you know, the place, the big island that's also a continent, well, they've bloody lost their minds down there as they've decided to ban a video game known as DayZ. Um, I have a couple of friends that I game with very often. They're here in channel with me to take part in this discussion. Wonder Boy, why don't you tell us about what's happened in Australia?
Well, currently, as of a couple of days ago, DayZ has been removed from our classifications, which means we can't sell it here, due to a drug reason. There's weed in the game. Well, there's supposed to be weed in the game, but it's been put in there by modders. It's not actually a developed thing from the developers, and our government has decided, oh, there's weed in the game. I think we're gonna have to ban this. You could do so much worse. There's stuff in the game that isn't even modded, and it's way worse than huffing on a bit of a
But
joint. I just don't.
should what do you think your government is accomplishing here by banning this game? What is their goal?
To probably stop kids from abusing your drugs.
To stop
That's all
kids
I can
from
see.
abusing drugs?
Yeah, that's. Well, apart from that, I don't see any other reason why they would do it. I mean, you've got Grand Theft Auto, and Grand Theft Auto is a bloody way worse game than DayZ.
Durand, how do you feel about this?
Well, honestly, I'm not all that surprised. It's just the way the world's going, man. Like next it'll be illegal for men to wear shorts because
Illegal for men to
it's
wear
inappropriate to
shorts?
show. You know, I'm just saying that's just where we're going. You know, in the world, like.
Well, I'll give you. It's about as ridiculous, actually. So who are the politicians that have championed this cause?
Oh God, there's. It's not a politician per se. It's a network of television associates. So it's a bunch of people
And
of different
concerned soccer mums.
yeah, pretty much concerned soccer mums. A bunch of people who the government has put into place for this RC, and they decide the classifications. They're a bunch of irregular people.
So they're
They
not
don't
elected?
No, they're not elected.
So a non-elected body
They're-
has banned the game of DayZ in Australia?
I believe so, yes. Because the RC refused classification. It's a bunch of regular people deciding on what's right, what's M or MA, PG. It's not it's not government.
Interesting.
So what happens is they give the classification. They think, then the bodies who govern them people check the classification to see if it's right, and then they put it on the shelves. They go everything. They decide everything off these people that don't even work for the government.
So everyone in this channel, everyone in this video right now, Durand, Wonderboy, myself, we've all played DayZ, correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and both of you live in Australia. I live in the U.S. You still have DayZ on your Steam accounts?
Yeah, I still got DayZ
Yeah.
and Steam account.
Okay, so they can't take it away from you.
No.
No.
Hell no.
Unless they're going to reimburse us for what, $40 it costs.
But then they'll have to reimburse the entirety of the people of Australia who've got
Everyone in
which is-
Australia who's under the age of like 40.
It's a big penny. It's a
Yeah.
big penny.
They're not going to do that. That's way too costly.
But I mean, DayZ is not exactly. We've all played DayZ. I mean, other than the whole issue with friendly bang you're dead, it's not exactly a game of what's the word I'm looking for? Morally,
So,
it's not a horrible game. Sure, you can feed some people detergent or whatever, or lock people up in handcuffs, but it's a video game, and are we really taking that seriously? Evidently,
well,
you guys are.
well, what bugs me, what bugs me is it's for something that's practically, it's not even in the fucking game. It's not put there by the developers. Apparently, it's a modded, and I've looked across many websites, and a few websites are speculating it's something different, but a lot of the websites saying they're being banned because of this weed debacle, because of the weed. But the developers haven't even put weed in the game. It's
You
a
want to know something
modded.
interesting? You can still buy. Sorry about the bell noise. You can still buy Postal on Steam, and
Oh yeah, Postal
is
is way worse.
Postal is purely a game about killing people.
Well,
Generally
maybe we shouldn't give this board of yours ideas of who they need to ban next. Maybe we should try to keep the topic
Oh yeah,
not on games
yeah,
that
that's...
should be
Well,
banned or are
Yeah, I'm
worse,
just,
because no game should be banned.
I'm just saying, like, why is it immoral for me to smoke a little bit of virtual weed in between shooting people, but not immoral for me to get rotten drunk in a game, piss on a cop, and then beat it to death with a shovel?
I mean, the thing is, they beat you to that. Postal has been banned here for a while. It's only recently, in the past year or so, that the RC refused classification has kind of lifted their hold on violent games. So they've
Well, the
kind of,
violence is okay, but minor drug use is not.
well, what was that game?
Well,
Manhunt. We can play Manhunt here in Australia now.
so I know in the US we have this PEGI rating system where it says like a game's mature, or it's PEGI 16 or PEGI 18. Don't you guys have that?
Yeah, we have a PEGI system, but the thing
We do.
is, it's got to get past our RC first.
Yeah, the PEGI system has to be approved by the Concerned Soccer Mums Association.
Oh.
That's right.
So PEGI must be for us in the US, and then you have your Soccer Mom Association that then decides whether or not PEGI was right.
Pretty much.
And
That's the gist of
you
it. Yeah.
can play Grand Theft Auto 5 there, right?
Oh yeah.
Jay, I can go down to the local gun dealer, buy myself a gun, go to my drug plantation, full of weed, cut my weed down, sell my weed in game, rinse and repeat, over and over and over again. But at DayZ, oh God forbid, you huff that little bit of green.
Okay.
You know what I think this all stems? I think this all stems from from a few parents who have identified that their kids are a little bit game crazy and they have trouble getting their kids off these games. And the kid throws up a stink when they turn the computer off. Maybe throws a few things around the room, screams his head off. But that's not. And they look for the easiest excuse out of that, which is, oh, it's the game. The game's a bad influence.
But
when in reality, the kid just needs a good hiding.
yeah, aren't they the parent? Isn't it their responsibility to parent?
Look,
Exactly.
I just think one of these RC members bought the game, was furious that it hasn't even come far, and now is banned it here in Australia.
Well, you could have a point there. DayZ is like the game that's been a never-ending beta for the last, 40 years? Okay, I might be exaggerating a little there, but...
You may as well be. But it's, I don't know what to make of it anymore. I just accept anything the RC does here. There's nothing we can do about it. Once they approve something or disapprove something, it's set in stone.
Ah.
Yeah, there doesn't.
So
I'm not sure what sort of rights and responsibilities or clout the RC has, but it does seem that way. No one questions it when they decide that something is bad for our morals.
So you
Well,
all
that's it.
live in a nanny state?
We live in a nanny country.
Yeah, nanny country.
No such thing as a nanny state. We live in a nanny country.
But
always
But
have.
you're Australians. I mean, when we think of Australians here in the U.S., we envision Steve Irwin wrestling crocodiles in Crocodile Dundee with his big Bowie knife kicking somebody's butt, you know? But
That's
Well,
not a knife.
Then
This is
the
a
illusion
knife.
is complete.
you
The
ruined my
illusion is
illusion of
complete.
what Australia is. So you guys are
Yeah.
actually infested with liberals?
You could say that. They don't actually run anything, but they like to think they do.
Sounds like they're running stuff.
Well, yeah, they're running plenty. They just shouldn't do. But
Well,
no, that
Can
unfortunately
you really
that
call
is.
gaming classification a job? I can't really see it as a job.
Well, some people game for a
Well,
job.
Well, that's a job. I mean, but these are games. Why do you have to classify games? What's the point of that? They're video games.
Well, movies
Wait,
are.
Oh, you mean classifying games in general? No, I think classifying games is a great idea. But I mean, why? How are they allowed to ban something outright? I mean, I suppose if the game is. Oh, it's a bit of a sticky issue, isn't it? Because what if there was a game that was purely about raping women?
There is.
Sure, that should be banned.
It's fucking Grand Theft Auto.
So I think you were right when you first started to talk, D. I think that there is nothing wrong with classifying things, and classifying things are probably a good thing. So having people classifying games as a job isn't necessarily a bad job. It's an important job to inform parents of their responsibility as a parent. Should I get little Johnny this R-rated game? Should I get him this mature-rated game? Or should I get him the Peggy 16 game? Or maybe not even Peggy 16, whatever the rated G game.
Well, that also depends on the child too. You know, I mean, you could have a very well kept child.
Well, you're the
and
parent,
just-
right? You can decide if your little guy is more mature than the average little guy, and if you're a good parent and you have a good thermometer of your child, maybe you might let him play something a little bit higher up the line, but that's your decision as a parent. It should be your decision as a parent, not the government's decision. It shouldn't be the government's decision to ban the game entirely and take away all choice.
For as long as I can remember, we have been going this way. We've been creating a society where parents aren't to be held responsible, or even people in general aren't to be held responsible for their actions or their inability to raise a child properly, when they are not only allowed to but encouraged to blame it on other things, anything else. So I think that's what this is. It's just another way for parents to say, no, I'm a great parent. If GTA is bad for my kid, then it shouldn't be allowed. Not, without mentioning that, hey, they let their kid play GTA.
Right. So parents are scapegoating, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
much,
exactly. Yeah, 100%.
It's just
And
abysmal.
they're encouraged to.
Well, it's just abysmal that they ban this over something. What gets me is they've banned this over something that technically wasn't even put in the game by the developers, which infuriates me. Do the people making our decision even know about the game, or are they just looking at a few pictures of the game and thinking, oh, or are they doing their research? Like, it just feels like they're not doing their research, looking at a few pictures of the game and making their decisions off that.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't sound like they've done their research. Nobody plays DayZ.
Well, look, it's frustrating for that reason only, because there's a reason nobody plays DayZ, but everyone wants to play it. And that it's because it's a game that has huge potential. It just needs to be better. And I think the reason it's been in, beta or whatever for so long is because they are trying to make it better. It's just, I imagine it's something that's hard to
I
work
think
with.
we're straying a long way off topic, but
Well, no, what I'm saying is,
We're not here to
now.
defend DayZ. We're not here to defend it. I don't care. It's banned in
So-
Australia. I just don't
so
like what's
the-
happening
how-
about
the
it.
guy who created the DayZ mod in Arma 2 was the genius behind DayZ, and when they let him go, when they stopped listening to him, when they were creating DayZ and they gave him the boot, DayZ pretty much fell apart. That's the reason DayZ is a failure, because they got rid of the only person who had any idea what DayZ should be.
Well, anyway, it's not about the developer. It's about this goddamn classification shit.
Right.
Yeah.
We've straight up.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know.
But
Welcome
see,
to
this is
Australia. This is Australia, everyone. You can come here. You can play whatever game you want, as long as it's the game they say you can play.
just don't sit on the chair at the back, because something will bite you and you'll die.
Did you sneeze? Must ban the game. I saw germ particles. That's morally
Yeah,
wrong.
that's it. Where does it end? It starts with like some pot smoking in a game, and where does it end? We start getting fines because we looked at a woman for longer than 3.5 seconds on a public train.
So
I just don't understand how DayZ can get this classification, and a game like and a multi-million-dollar game like Grand Theft Auto is just not even fucking looked at. It's all in the money. That's where it's going. It's all in the money.
So you think the DayZ, or not DayZ, but Grand Theft Auto has the money to basically pay off the people in charge in Australia and keep their game on the market?
Oh yeah, hell yes. If they give DayZ this classification, Grand Theft Auto should not even be looked at here in Australia. You shouldn't even find a copy on the shelves. You could do way worse stuff in Grand Theft Auto than DayZ. I mean, good luck trying to smoke the weed in DayZ, because a bug might kill you before you get to it.
Right. Interesting.
It would be interesting to know if there was something more behind this. If one of the people who helped push this along, this banning of DayZ, had some invested interests in other ways, financially or something. It does
For me at
seem
the
a
moment,
bit,
it just boils
it
down
just
to the money.
really seems a bit fishy. That's all.
Okay, so yeah, actually earlier Duran brought up something that I thought was kind of interesting just from a cultural standpoint. You guys in Australia live in like the deadliest country on the planet. You have the deadliest spiders and the deadliest snakes and all of this quote unquote danger around you, right?
Saddle up kangaroos and ride them to the shops every day, mate. We do it.
Right, but
No.
yet you evidently have to protect your youth from ideas. But they could go out back and get killed by whatever your deadly spider is in a split second.
Pretty much. That's how it kind of works here. The dumb die.
It doesn't sound like the dumb died. I mean, they seem to be running your country.
Suppose. No, the people on the RC just make the classifications and just make a decision, and the government decides on that decision. I really don't even think the RC has the end ultimate decision on it. They just give the opinion for the government.
Oh,
That's what
God.
I'm assuming.
God help us when the children who have been raised like this are running the country.
No more manspreading on trains. No.
Yeah, I
Fucking
I could already feel my testicles bruising.
eating meat is now illegal. You must cycle at least 20 meters a day.
All right, everyone at home, please understand that I'm an American, and so I'm taking my friends here at face value about their information. Wonder Boy, you're sure that DayZ is banned? 100%, no doubt about it. You've seen it in writing.
I can see it here. RC, refuse classification. Reason Games 1A. The computer game is classified RC in accordance to the National Classification Code Computer Games Table 1A as computer games that depict, express, otherwise deal with matters of sex, drugs, misuse, addiction, crime, cruelty, violence, or revolting or fuck these words, something phenomena in such a way that the offended against the standards of morality, decency, and proficiency generally accepted by reasonable adults and the extent that they should not be classified.
Where are you reading that from?
The government, Australian government webpage.
Oh, okay, because I'm still seeing DayZ on Steam. Is that something they're banning soon, or has it
It's
already
banned.
been banned?
It was banned as of.
D,
I
go
think,
through and try to buy it.
Yeah, try and buy it.
Oh right, yeah, I haven't tried buying it yet. I'm still seeing the page for it, and it shows an Australian dollar value. But yeah, I'll go try to buy it.
But I'm looking on their website here for Australian classifications, and it's definitely under banned.
Interesting.
What's interesting, D?
Well, I don't have enough money to actually buy it. But I can add it to my cart.
You can add it to your cart.
Yeah.
I'll give you the website.
Huh, it's interesting. So is it or isn't it banned in Australia? Let me...
Oh, it's banned.
Well, it appears as though I can still buy it. DayZ, yeah.
Well, when I Google this, I see very clearly on the top of the Google webpage, DayZ banned in Australia for something that isn't in the game yet. The Australian Classification Board has refused to classify the physical release of zombie survival game DayZ due to its use of cannabis. The title has been on digital storefronts in Australia for years now, but has since been pulled 1 day ago.
Interesting.
So the digital copy can still be bought, but the shelved copy cannot.
Well, no, it just said digital shelves. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, he did. He just said digital, yeah.
Which means that they've removed it from the digital as well. I don't think they ever did solid copies, did they?
Are you using a VPN, Dran?
No, not that I'm aware of. No, because I'm seeing everything in Australian dollar values. So
Okay. Well, it's definitely banned here in Australia.
Yeah, that's the way it looks on the internet. Wow.
it would be interesting. Like on payday, I'll give this a go. I'll actually try buying it. Like physically.
You already own it, don't you?
Yeah,
Oh yeah. No, but
he'll do it anyway. We don't.
I want to see if it works. And giving it to someone in Australia and see what it says. Because in all theory, it shouldn't let me physically pay for it. I should get as like I'm surprised I got this far with it if it's banned. I'm surprised I even see it on the store.
Interesting.
I don't see it. I can't buy it on the store. I don't have that option.
Well, maybe I got to restart my Steam. Maybe
Don't restart your Steam. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, good point. The last guy in Australia who could buy this thing.
Oh, bugger.
Yeah, that's weird. So you don't see it on the store at all, Wonderboy?
No, I don't. I can't purchase it. I see pictures.
No.
I see the advertising for the page, but
Yeah.
the for sale button isn't there.
Okay, so you can't add it to your cart.
No.
Okay. I wonder why I can. Maybe it's just taking a little while for me to.
You're probably using a bloody VPN or something, man.
I wasn't aware if I was, but I'm seeing everything in AU values, so I would think that if I was using a VPN, it would all be popping up in yen
What
or
are you
some shit.
VPNing through New Zealand?
Oh, could be, but if
Oh, they're
I'm running
worse. They're worse. They're worse. It's already banned there. It's nah. I don't know. New Zealand though, they're a bunch of yeah, good old New Zealand.
But is it actually banned in New Zealand? That's the question. I mean,
I
it could be
I'll have a
okay in
look.
New Zealand, but not in Australia. What would that say about Australia if you've become a worse nanny state than New Zealand?
already there. No, I think if it's banned in Australia, it won't be long before they ban it in New Zealand too. Won't be long.
So I'm trying to find their classifications. Well, nah. Doesn't even look like they're considering it.
So you're saying it's just not available in New Zealand, or it is?
Well, no, it's available in New Zealand, but they're not considering on banning.
Oh, okay. So New Zealand's fine with it.
Yeah, New Zealand's good.
New
Zealand isn't Australia.
Yeah, but New Zealand is well known for being like the worst nanny state in the world, right?
I think we take the
I've
cake
heard
for that. I think we take the cake. New Zealand isn't as. I don't think New Zealand is you know, withholding of shit like that.
Huh.
Australia bans more than New Zealand.
Well, there you go.
Oh, you scraped your knee. You scraped your
Well-
knee. We must ban that cement.
Look, something you have to remember here too. Just another disclaimer for the fans is that me and Wonderboy are purely going off of like we're not educated on these exact things. We're purely going
Hell
off
no,
of
hell no.
our own views of what we see going on around.
So
Exactly.
we're speaking to uneducated Australians right now.
That's so you're speaking to
well,
Aussies then. We're all
we-
fucking uneducated.
We know our own system though. We know our own system.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I just woke up this morning and I seen this on my Google, and I decided to Google it to find out that it took me straight to the government webpage. So I assumed it was legit.
It's crazy though. It just because of a little bit of digital weed smoking. Like when I got caught with pot, like the first time I got caught with weed, I got caught with a good chunk of it,
Oh
a good
boy.
hefty amount.
Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah. And the cop who pulled it out of my tobacco pouch, he looked at me and he said, "Oh, is that it?" Because he went to look at my tobacco pouch and I said, "I got some weed in there," and he lifted one eyebrow. And then he pulled
He's
out and
not a
said,
concerned
is,
mother though.
is that it? And I was like, yeah, that's it. And he's like, oh, okay. Gave me my tobacco pouch back.
What just infuriates me is not the weed. It's the fact that it's not even DayZ's implementation.
Yeah, it's not even the developers doing it. That's the frustrating bit. Is that all it takes to sync a game? So if I get disgruntled towards, any other game, that I can mod on, all I need to do is just make a mod where the main character shoots a little heroin and it's fucking game
It
gone.
Depends. Is the company rich enough to pay off our RC?
Well, it looks like that's all it takes. I can sync a game. I can ban a game from a whole country.
It's just fucking. It annoys me to my core.
Huh.
It's bloody stupid.
So what games have angered or annoyed us lately? What game can we get banned from Australia? I jest though. that it is a sad state of affairs when a country has gone this this basically insane. There's not many words for it. Uh,
Don't worry. At least we get our penises held when we go to the toilet.
all right. Well, so
What?
with that, I think we'll call this episode a wrap. I'm James Johnson, aka Sulfurblade. This is my content. Hopefully, you're enjoying it. If so, leave a like and subscribe. And until next time, all peace.
Bye.